Hello, this is Chill Computer Guy. We're here in Bitwig Studio. We got part number 3 of our Bitwig Sunday. I don't know how much longer this is going to go on, but tonight we're going to talk about dynamic. We're going to talk about EQing, dynamic range, getting all that stuff. We're going to talk about a plugin also. We're going to do a plugin review. Before we even get started, a quick drink of water there. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, we're going to have good content. Today, however, we're going to start off by just applying a quick shuffle. Alright, shuffle's no good. We're going to keep the shuffle off right now. But we're going to talk about shuffle some more coming up in the next couple of months. We are fully in the arrange panel now. But once you start really getting kind of the building blocks, I highly recommend going into the arrange panel. In other words, starting in the clip launcher, but quickly moving into the arrange panel. Because if you're trying to work between them, for me personally, I have a hard time with it. But I do like occasionally, pulling it up and then pulling stuff over, altering it, and then putting it back in. This to me is just kind of like a file cabinet of my MIDI files, is kind of how I think of it. An organizational tool, but once I get, once I get more than one or two tracks in there, I definitely go to the arrange. Or the Pug collection. This is the Pug Tech. It's basically a model of the Tech EQ, a famous, just a classic, beautiful sounding EQ. Waves has remodeled it. It's part of the Jack Joseph Pug collection. And this EQ is, oh my god, I love this EQ. This EQ, it's everywhere on my mixes. If you're only going to have one EQ for just shimmer and shine, I highly recommend this. There's a few other EQs that are good too, but if you catch them, they go through cycles where they put stuff on 80% off on plugins at times, and it just cycles through. So if you wait long enough, eventually a plugin like this will be on sale for a really reasonable price where you can pick it up. But this is one I highly recommend, is this EQ right here. So we put it on our high digi lead, and so what we're going to do is we're going to boost that a little bit. Okay, this is a beautiful EQ. How it works is you have your signal, you're coming in here. These are your low frequencies. You have a 20 hertz, 30 hertz, 60 hertz, 100 hertz. There's only 4 selections there. There's no in between. And then this is going to boost 20 hertz or whatever selection, or 60 hertz or whatever you have selected here. It'll boost, but you can also attend that frequency as well, meaning you're cutting it out, you're dipping it. Now both of these 3 knobs work together: boost, attend, 20, 30, 60, or 100 hertz. Okay, that's the low part of the EQ. Again, another confusing EQ, but once you understand it, it is quite a beautiful piece indeed. Now the second part are these 2 dials and this selector right here. Now this is your high frequency. This is these are kilohertz. So you have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12, and 16,000 hertz, or 16 kilohertz, 12 kilohertz, 4 kilohertz, 3 kilohertz. So once we have selected one of these, we can boost that. Okay, with this knob here. Now the bandwidth, this knob right here, is how it's a bell curve basically. So what is the width of that bell? Is it broad, which is 10, or you can make it I'm not sure what these numbers translate into. They don't really have values. I'm sure there's a chart somewhere online where you can see that how broad these are based on. This is basically the bandwidth of the high frequency bell. Okay. Now there's also a low pass filter here. You can select a frequency, 5 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, or 20 kilohertz, and then you can attend or cut right at that frequency. So it's basically like a low pass filter. And then that's how you deal with the high part of the frequency. So this EQ, it's a little confusing, but it is a beautiful, beautiful sounding EQ, and it's really great for really getting that sound you want. It has many presets: the PA, the kick, the overhead, the boomy rooms, the rock bass, sub bass, Dean Vox, pretty strings, clean string plucks, reed strings, focus, shaker, July, track woman is in there also, so check that out. So those are the presets. So let's with this EQ a little bit here, okay? Okay, I'm actually gonna put the mono version of this on. We're going to actually put the mono version on the kick drum. Yes, there are stereo and monos of each Waves plugin, which is a little annoying, but as important as it is, we'll have a tutorial about that in the future, but for now, we're just not going to really discuss it. The nice thing about this EQ is it has this roundness to it where you can kind of get frequencies where they're not going to necessarily be cut out, cookie cut out, but they're going to be rounded in a way where they will blend together very, very well. What I like about this EQ is it's hands-on. You don't even need presets. You can really dial it in. This is an EQ I actually recommend do not use the presets with. Dial it in. Use what you know about EQ and get this the right way, you know. Okay, here's the bass. Let's do the bass now. That's pretty chunky. Okay, that's right at 20 hertz, so we can't be doing that. Holy cow. The great thing is these, the 20, 30, 60, 100, you can actually boost and attend these and really get some really dialed in bass with this. I mean, this is an insanely good bass EQ, because with the low frequencies you can really get in here and with boosting and attending simultaneously, you can really sculpt that low end. I mean, it's beautiful. I'll try some presets on this real quick. Now, I need a very specific thing going here. I want to attend at 20 to 9. I want my 100 hertz cut. I don't want anything in the low end, so I'm going to cut right at 100 hertz. I want nothing in the low end. Okay, now this is boosting at 10. Let's widen this a little bit, but not too wide. You don't want to make it too wide. Okay? Again, that's without. Listen to all that noise. This is with. So you can see fairly quickly how easy it is to really sculpt the sound with these EQs. We're going to put our levels out there, and yeah, let's jam this. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Join us next week. We'll have more tutorials as well as product reviews. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Normal room comp. I like that. It gives it a little bit of texture right there. So again, you got to be listening with good headphones, but just boosting right at 12 really gave that bass some character.